off today.
Okay, go ahead.
Sitting with the best win percentage in the NHL, you guys have missed Kakko, you missed Cheadle, Boxy was out for a bit, a lot of adversity this year. The theme of the team this year was no excuses, but is it still somewhat of a surprise to be where you guys are in standings with all that adversity?
Certainly we'd like to have those guys back. Some are back, which is good, but we had to deal with some things. The guys that are out, we'd like them back. Just makes us a stronger unit. I think that I don't really look at it. I don't think there was a plan for what you're asking. There's a plan to win the game last night, to do our best to get ready, to take some things and fix from the game before, and to do our best to win a game last night. And we were able to do that. And so now we wake up today and we focus on the next game and kind of just keep things short term and keep our focus on what we're doing on a daily basis, whether it be in practice or in games. And I think that that's worked really well for us. So we can give a lot of credit to this point, almost halfway through the year. No matter what's happened, the guys have stepped up and played some pretty good hockey.
That being said, when you came in the summer, I'm sure you had some feeling that this is a group that was ready to win now. I'm sure you've been in other situations where maybe your roster was younger, more turnover, whatever it might be. But did you feel confident coming in that this group was ready to be a contender right off the bat?
I think that there was when I was looking at it and evaluating it before I got the job, and now even that I have the job, there's a good group of players here, and they've had some success in the past, searching for ultimate success. But the question that you're asking, there's also, a dozen teams that think the same exact thing, that their situation is right and they're ready. And so that's why they make you play the games in the regular season, and certainly why they make you play them in the playoffs. But right now we're working every day to build our game and build our brand on the ice to make sure that we're doing the right things so that we can be successful today and hopefully in the long term as well.
With the players that have come up from the bullpen in the organization, have you been impressed with how deep it is? You talked about playing Johnny Brodzinski in a position where he's comfortable, like the position he plays at the American League level. Is that something you've been impressed by now that you've had a number of players come up and succeed at the NHL level?
I think our affiliate down in Hartford and the coaches have done a really good job supporting us with players to be ready to play, recommending the players that we need and the players that are playing well for them to come up. And then it's just about filling the holes and filling the spots inside of our team. But I do think that the guys that have come up have played well. I thought that Brendan played a really good game last night. He was noticeable with the puck, with his speed, creating, and so that's a real positive first game for him. When we called Edstrom up, I thought he came in, and his size and his speed and his physicality, he's able to chip in a goal there late in the game. I thought he had a real good showing as well, so it's nice that these players can come up and be inserted into the lineup and be effective for us.
To that point also, I know all the players always say they feed off the crowd, feed off the energy. Knowing that there was a lot of excitement last night to watch Brendan play, I know you double shifted him and asked you about that last night. Do you ever feed off the crowd with your decision making at all in a game like that, knowing that there's a lot of excitement about Brendan?
I love our crowd, and I love the energy that it brings. I love the energy they bring when the anthem goes off, and they're howling to get it going just through the anthem. Just puts great energy and a great atmosphere in MSG, and I do think that our players and coaches and everybody feels that, sure. And I don't know if it affects my decision making so much, but I certainly do like to see the energy in the building. Our guys feel that energy. I think it's oftentimes it can be a two-way street as well. I feel like we can pump energy into the building. They pump it into us, and it's a good team.
Peter, I don't know if you're aware of this, but you're only a few wins behind Al Arbor on the wins list. I'm just wondering what that name means to you at the start of your coaching career there.
Yeah, means a lot to me because Al and I became friends later in his life. He lives on Longboat Key where I live, and there was times where my mom and dad going down for a winter would go out to dinner with Al and his wife, and there was times when Chris and I were down in the summer. We would go out to lunch with Al and his wife, or we would go to their villa and see them, and just a tremendous amount of respect for him as a coach and as a person, and for his wife. just an incredibly lovely lady. And to get to spend time with them, so that name means a lot to me, knowing that, you know, he's had just an unbelievable career as a coach. And so I'm on more of what, not so much what you're asking about me, but just with regard to him, you know, one of the best in the game.
But when you're in that company with names.
Yeah, I'd rather just think about Alan, the good thing that he brought to the game, and he was a tremendous coach and just a really special man. Like, he was get to know him personally at the end, where I didn't know him so much. You know, when I first started coaching the Islanders, I didn't know him, and I just think it's through time, and I got those opportunities in the summer to spend some time with him and really treasure those memories.
With Brennan bringing another 20-something-year-old player onto the roster, you're able to succeed. Is that in part because of the veteran leadership that's here to show them the ropes? There's a lot of young players on the roster. So coming in, kind of bouncing off of what Vince said, into a team knowing that there was a lot of veteran leaders, does that help usher in younger players no matter who they are?
I think it can, if the environment is right and the culture is right, and you know, the veteran players are good players that want to help these young kids. You know, you think of you know, Will Cooley and, you know, his relationship with Trocheck and how he extended him his guidance for a young player coming into the league in his first year. And then when players do come up, I think our veteran players do a really good job of making sure that these guys are comfortable in the right place to succeed.
On the power play, we've talked about the continuity, but I'm curious how much maybe you've emphasized empowering, especially some of the guys like more in the perimeter, Panarin, Mika, Fox, to roam more and be interchangeable in positions and sort of be less predictable in that sense. Has that maybe been a point of emphasis?
I think that that's something that this group has always done. I think that there's just a continuity that goes with that unit, where they understand what they're doing and what's available and what needs to move. It seems like it's in sync to me, and so we encourage it. I think Michael Peck has done a really good job coaching that power play units, and I think he's done a good job. I think the players have done a good job of taking what's available, keeping it simple sometimes, having the movement that they need sometimes. I think they read and feed off of each other really well, and so it's been, when it needs to be simple, it's simple, and when it needs movement, it moves, and they seem to figure that out as the power play is going on the ice.
So that's them sort of just feeling out the situation. It's not like a specific time where you're going to say, okay, we want Mika in the left circle, or we want Mika to move here, like there.
No, I think there's always some coaching that goes into it. You know, there's always, when you're scouting a team and what they do in the penalty kill, there's always some nudges for direction on what's available, what's not available, what has to happen. That's the whole purpose of power play meetings and power play coaches, is to bring people in together and to give them some idea of what to look for or what to expect against the penalty kill unit that's happening that night. Inside of that, there has to be some creativity to the players on the ice, to what's actually going on. And it's not, you know, oftentimes hockey's not like a football play where you run out 20 yards, turn to the right, and the football's being delivered. It's not like that. It's free moving. It has this motion to it, and you have to be able to read off of the motion and the defenses on what they're doing. The defenses are somewhat predictable, but not exactly predictable.
How would you assess the year that Igor has had? You know, made the All-Star team, but maybe his numbers aren't quite where the last couple of years.
Well, he's been winning a lot of games for us. Some of the games that, you know, probably hit the numbers that you're talking about, take responsibility as a coach and as a team to do better things in front of them, and I'm pretty clear about some of those games. Like, it's on us. We can't, and we've been really good. So I don't want to make it sound like it's been this major problem the entire year, but there's been a few games where I don't think that we've done the right things in front of him, and we could have played a better brand of hockey, which ultimately would have helped. But at the end of the day, you know, he's finding ways to win hockey games for us, and he's played really well. Certainly as of late, he's played really well. But there's been a few games where I think we could have done a better job in front of him.
I don't know if you,
Last one?
I don't know if you've seen Jacob's art, Foxy's bagel thing, but I'm curious as to your thoughts on guys putting themselves out there personality-wise and doing more in the community and media. And,
Yeah.
Your take on that whole thing, with guys just kind of putting themselves out there away from the rink.
You know, that's away from the rink is their time, and so if they can use that how they want to use that, I don't really get involved in too much in that. I think the players often do a lot of good things for charity and for cause. You know, if Jacob's art raised money for charity, I think that's a really positive thing inside of the world. I've seen a lot of players on my teams do some really amazing things to help people in a generous way, and when those things happen, I think that's a positive thing, but I don't get too involved in that.